Hey everybody, welcome to Q&A Thursday, where you ask me your questions. I do my best to answer them. This week's question comes from Tina, and Tina wants to know, what does a typical freelance onboarding process look like? This is a great question, Tina, because as VAs still, there's really no set standard for our industry for how exactly to onboard clients. In fact, you'll meet other VAs who have crazy complicated onboarding processes. Like I've met people who use services like Honeybook, where they say to their clients, I need you to create an account and log in and then input all of your details and all of your preferences for me, and then we can start working together. Or I've met other VAs who think they need to provide everything under the sun, and they end up sending 10 PDFs about their process and who they are and how they work, and they send that in an email and they expect their clients to read a 10-page book. I say no to all of that. I reject adding more work to your client's workload. Hear me out. The reason that clients hire you is because they're busy and they want somebody to help them immediately. What clients don't want at the end of the day is for their virtual assistant to add more work to their already crazy workload. So if you in the past you think you've landed a client and then you send them a 10-page document and you're asking them to create accounts and input details, and then you don't hear anything from them again, it's because you overwhelmed them. And that's okay. That's okay. We all think we're doing them a good service, or we think because we've seen other VAs do or talk about it, that you need to have this kind of complicated onboarding service, or that you're not a legitimate VA. I challenge you this week to think about how your onboarding process can be as simple as 2 to 3 steps. So I'm going to give you a very real world example of how I onboard clients. Here's my hair flip interlude. When I sign a client, so the client and I have already done our exploratory call and we're both like, yes, let's do it. This is a good fit. Let's work together. The first thing I do is I send them a very simple contract. Now, I use a contract through a service called We Are Indie. A video is popping up somewhere here about how that works. Indie is $4.99 a month. That is $4.99. It is one of the cheapest on the markets. And the reason I use and pay for it is because they have a great virtual assistant specific template for contracts. So all I have to do is go log into my Indie account and type in details like my client's name, their address, the type of work, that's our scope that we've talked about me doing for them, my rates, when I expect to get paid, and then boom, I send it to my client. My client will look it over and e-sign it, and then we're off to the races. So once that contract is signed, what I do is I send my client an email where I attach the contract and I say, thank you so much for your convenience. Here is a signed, fully executed copy of our contract. Just a reiteration, here are my hours of operation, my phone number, my email. Now, in order to get started, I just need you to give me access to your calendar and your inbox. And here's how you do that, whether they're on Gmail, Yahoo, whatever, or Microsoft, who uses that, Yahoo, whatever, Microsoft Office, whatever they're using. I just give them a quick link to here's how to share your calendar through Office. Here's how to share your calendar through Google. That's it. That's the end. That is my technically 2-step process. Step number 1, send the contract. Step number 2, send them an email with the executed contract and just say, here are my details. Again, save these in your address book. Give me access to your calendar. Give me access to your email. And then that's it. We're off to the races. I've had people tell me before that this is one of the simplest onboarding processes. But the fact of the matter is, it is a process. That is how I onboard my clients. And the reason I do this strategically is because, again, people are busy. They just want to get started now. That's why they've hired you. So what you'll do is once you have access to their inbox and or their calendar, you just be like, hey, just start sending me things. Start sending me your most immediate pressing tasks. Whatever's on your plate, we're going to get through it. And it's usually the first day, there's always a learning curve when you first start working with clients. You might find that the first day, you're getting a good sense for their workflow. for how many emails they have coming in per day. Inevitably, as you start to progress with this person, I think you will find that you do eventually need details from your client, like their date of birth, their preferred airline or preferred hotel, or their preferred hours of work. Certainly your clients might have preferences, like maybe they don't take calls before 9 a.m. Maybe they don't take any meetings after 2 o'clock. Whatever it is, you'll need to know those. But what I don't want you to do is pressure your client into filling out details right off the bat, because I find that kind of clients are already overwhelmed. They've already very likely never worked with a virtual assistant before. And I just find that by asking them to do the legwork, they get completely overwhelmed. They don't know where to start, and they're very likely to ghost you. And I mean, overwhelming them is a great way to lose a client before you've even had a chance to get to show your work. So within a couple days or a week within working with somebody, what I will suggest at the end of the week with my new client is that we hop on a brief 15-minute call. And what I do on this call is I say, I just wanted to check in. It's our first week. How are you feeling? What's working for you? What's not? And then I say, hey, I've got a few questions to ask you that will help facilitate our work faster. These are things like your work, your home, your travel preferences. And I just verbally ask them things like, what's your date of birth? Are you married? What's your spouse's date of birth? What's your anniversary? What's your home address? And I will share in the comments the spreadsheet that I use. So I find that verbally going through some of those questions is faster. Your client has already had a chance to get to know you better. They know that you're a real person. They know that you're trustworthy. I think they're more likely to give you some of those life details at that point, rather than being like, hello, I'm an anonymous virtual stranger and I need you to sign up for this Honeybook link and I need you to fill out all your personal details. That's just a no-go. So it's at that point, give it a week. Then you can start asking questions. Then you can say to them, hey, can I have a credit card number? I'm going to keep this safely stored in case I need to buy flights for you or buy any products online, et cetera, et cetera. I will never use it until I okay the charge with you. Just make them feel at ease. So yeah, that was a long personal example, but onboarding does not need to be complicated. Onboarding clients, they don't want more work. They just want you to tell them what to do. So keep that in mind when you're creating your own onboarding system. 1, 2, 3 steps max, and you guys are off to the races. I've said this in many videos before, and I'll say it again. My favorite acronym is KISS, Keep It Simple Stupid. I'm not calling you stupid. I'm just telling you what the acronym stands for. I say it to myself all the time where I'm like, Erin, keep it simple, stupid. Or I guess you could flip it if you wanted. Keep it stupid, simple. But at the end of the day, keep it easy, keep it simple. Clients want your help. They don't want more work. Woo! So Trina, thank you so much for sending that question in. It's one of my favorite ones to talk about. I hope this was helpful, and if anything, I hope it got your wheels turning. So thinking about how you could create your own simple onboarding process that's authentic and right to you and your business. Thank you guys so much for watching this week's video. If you have any questions about your virtual assistant business, leave me a comment below. I'm happy to try to answer these questions the best I possibly can.